Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad to hear this Tuesday morning, getting ready for big Thanksgiving activities coming up. I know y'all have already got your turkey getting thawed out and all kind of things going on, and getting the biggest pictures I've seen to get a kick out of. People have started a cornbread dressing over the weekend, and that was coming from their mothers and grandmothers' old recipe. But the old cornbread dressing is stuck around as a staple at a lot of Thanksgiving tables. Let's look at the weather. High today 75 and lows only down to 59. We had a little cool snap, but it's going to be, this is pretty nice weather we're having. The water temperature did drop down to 71.4. That's pretty low, and that looks good. The river reading is brought to us by Mountain Dew. Get out and do. We're looking at the Apalachicola Bluntstown is at a 7.8. Got a little bit of a rise to it. And the Choctaw at Careville is a 4.1 and just dead level. It's been level for a couple of days now until actually 3 or 4 days, and coming up on the weekend, it looks like it's going to be the same way. It don't look like much rain's going to be coming between now and we may get some Friday, but both rivers are in good shape if you got any chance to get out for Thanksgiving. The marine forecast, well, let's look at the tide. As far as the tide is going to be low at 11:45 and high at 7:48, but it's a neap tide, and that's brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. The marine forecast east-southeast at 9, so it's below double digits, only coming in at 9 today, so okay to get out. Okay, well, there's a boating accident over the weekend. We're going to talk about that later on and show you a picture of a boating accident at the jetties here. We'll take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Got a notice here from the FWC, and most of y'all had already heard about it over the weekend. This past weekend, they've added to the red snapper season over this past weekend and the next coming days. Here's a notice right here, ready for more Gulf red snapper. Open for private recreational anglers. The dates were this past weekend, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. These additional days were added to the fall red snapper season due to weather impacting angler ability to get out of the water. So that is really good. We state for hire operations may also participate or limited to fishing for red snapper in Gulf state waters only. But anyway, well, you know what had happened during the snapper season, there were 2 or 3 weekends where it just blew really strong, and a lot of smaller boats were not able to get there. So that's a nice gesture on behalf of the FWC. We appreciate it, and we didn't this past weekend. A lot of people didn't know about it, but they're finding out about it. But you can go out this Thanksgiving holidays and catch some red snapper. Okay, let's look at some pictures. We've got some cool pictures coming up. One of the seniors out in Mosley. This is Colby Dutton. We've had him on before. He loves to fish. First fish out of the new Mosley Pond. Okay, in the back, I said, wait a minute. They've got a pond there since I left, and they got a chain link around it. You see them fishing. That's the first bass in the background of the tennis courts and the gym. So this picture is facing north, but that's a nice fish coming out of ponds. We're going to talk about ponds later, about just fishing in a lot of these ponds. So good job, Colby. Thank you for sharing that with us. Awesome. I told me to put that picture on the wall in the classroom. Tess Randall Jolly, our North Alabama resident photographer. Look at this picture here. She's got this deer sneezing. Can y'all see? Look at that. And she made a joke about the nasal spray, so they need to put a mask on that buck. But what a classic picture there. Tess Randall Jolly of around Tuskegee. Billy Grantham, this one was hit by a car. He said it's a huge buck, about 200 pounds, just hit by a car, and just hate to see that anytime that happens. And don't forget, talking about Friday, the Black Friday, Deer Point Lake, a big bass bash, and it's going to be a good payout from safe light till noon. So artificial lures only, so that'll be coming up this Friday for the bass fishermen. Now, Donnie Copper sent this California Bayou. It approached the boat several times. That manatee, there's a manatee still hanging around because the water's still warm. And I'm going to tell you a story on the manatees. I've got an amazing story to tell you on them in just a second. But let's get us through the pictures. The boating accident last Saturday night or Friday night, this boat ran into the jetties. It was on autopilot. I don't know what the situation, I don't have any details, and I'd heard from it on social media, then I checked my sources, and it was true. And it don't look too bad on this side, but it said the other side got bashed in pretty heavy. I do not know what caused it, but obviously a boat like that on automatic pilot should be able to steer away, you know, have emergency steering away from the rock. So that's interesting. That's not an everyday occurrence here with boats of that caliber. Speaking of boats, Harris Marshall, he's a skiff. He's been building this skiff now for quite some time. I want to say a year or two, and he's actually sanding it. And he's okay. Look at this. He's put a lot of sandpaper, done a lot of work on this. And if I've got a couple of pictures, we're going to do some video of him starting on it. He's got a lot of still pictures, but it is a job. He's built this boat from scratch, folks. He's built the whole frame and all of it, and it's coming along really good up there in Lynn Haven. Good job, Harris Marshall. Tita Noble is there in St. Joe. Erica has worked hard to get this deer. Congratulations, baby girl. You scored a home run with this one. I mean, that is a nice buck. That is a fine buck. Good job, Erica. And Greg Gladden and Bowen McGuffin, two of our former baseball players, still fishing together. That's a redfish, but what makes this story cool, the boat, that's Bowen right there. He's the one holding the fish, and Greg's taking a picture. But they're in Greg's boat. Greg found this old skiff and has remodeled. He's redoing this old skiff. You can look at the fiberglass, this bare fiberglass right there, and Bowen is bowed up. And here's a picture of it here. And it's under progress right now, under construction. But folks, that's all you need. Look at that chair in the front. I mean, they're sort of roughing it, but you see the redfish they're catching. It's down at the city marina, and let's see, I got one more picture of it. He stripped it down, replacing a lot of it, the flooring and everything, and taking his time doing it. And that's going to be a nice skiff. I'm real proud of those boys doing that. Okay, here's James Wesky, his son Ethan, got a nice redfish out there, pretty redfish. Let's see, okay, that's enough for the picture right now. I do want to tell you the manatee story, but let's go and take a break. I'm going to come back and tell that manatee story. Okay, welcome back. Glad you're with us this morning. First thing, I want to congratulate the Sneads volleyball team on winning their 8th consecutive state championship. That is just simply incredible. I know a lot of those girls up there. I want to congratulate the young ladies, the coaching staff, the school, the community. That's something very proud of. It reminds me of a modern day Hoosiers when they go in there and do something like that. I've got some side stories to tell you about the Sneads volleyball team, but we'll do that a little bit later. We've got some kin folks on the team and good lineage and all. We'll talk about that later. But I want to get to this manatee story. You know how we all feel about manatees. They're just off lovable, cuddle up with them and all that kind of stuff. And you can go down to Crystal River and take a school trip. Whitney had one of the best field trips she ever had, was going down to Crystal River, swimming with the manatees. And the old timers here now, they were not crazy about them. They sort of got in the way. They called them sea cows. And they didn't like them when they got into their nets. They pull in nets, and the big old manatees would be there, and they just sort of push them out of the way. But I never heard anybody harming them, and I'm sure it's happened. And a lot of times, accidentally, they run them over with boat propellers and all, just not seeing them. Well, this situation here, it was in the paper Sunday morning. There's a captain down at Tampa. He got arrested and charged with endangering wildlife. Basically, I read the whole story. I had double-checked it, and basically what he did, he saw the manatee, and he's a captain, so he knows how to get around them and move around them. And he sort of he had a worm or some kind of lure on it, and he got a pole and was trying to get it off. And we've all done that stuff, reaching and all with our poles and everything. Well, there was a drone above him. It was just filming it. And he tried to knock the drone out of the way. And most, captains don't like drones around them filming. I can understand, You don't want to see people see what you're fishing with and all. Anyway, long story short, the drone made a 39-second video of him doing that, and they put it on social media. And you can imagine with the wackos on social media, they went ballistic. And so the district attorney charged him, took him to court, took him to federal court in Tampa. I mean, I almost read this thing twice. The captain had threats. He had threats they were going to kill him. They harassed his family. He lost $68,000 worth of business from from people getting out and putting his customers on, say don't use him. And the only thing he faced was a $2,000 fine. But the judge heard the story. When the judge heard the story, he wondered what would happen if we didn't have social media. What would have happened, and what would have happened if that drone, would the guy have gotten fishing lure? The judge was in fact, he said he probably would have swatted at that drone also. But he did fine him. He did fine the money. He fined the captain 50 hours of community service, which has to be completed by January the 12th. And it said, so anyway, be sure. I mean, is that not crazy? And stop and think about it. He's just trying to knock something off the manatee. And anyway, so be sure and do not harass any manatees. I know none of us plan on doing it, but accidentally, if I saw something on a manatee, like a fishing lure or something, I would just, instinctively try to knock it off. But the drone, they put that drone on, it went on social media. And that's some good things on social media, and some crazy, stupid things on there. And that's one of them. So anyway, speaking of Sneads in Jackson County, Gail and I were driving through there the other day and passed Blue Springs Road, and that's just a special place to me. I started having some memories of old fishing lure called the Blue Springs Minnow. I showed it about 7 or 8 years ago on here, and you can see right here, that's called the Blue Springs Minnow, and that's it right there. And I wanted to, let me show you, it was made in Mariana. And I collected old fishing tackle for a good while, and that was one of my favorite ones. And to show you, I just want to show you. I got it. I'm gonna put this on the screen now. Is that up there, Jeff? It's not. Okay. But the Blue Springs Minnow was designed, invented, and made in Mariana. And you can see the box right there. Croft Special Fishing Lures, and it's in a green box, and then in a tan box. And it was for fishing in the Blue Springs area. Here's the story. They call it a Humpty Dumpty Blue Springs Bait Manufacturing Company out of Mariana, Florida. And I was just tickled to get this. Here's the patent on it, and it was just something really cool. And what I wanted to show you, what made this special. Let's see. I'm gonna go back. Let's go back one more picture, Jeff. This gives the history of it. Right here, the two different. They made the lures, and the patent was issued in August of 1952. They were made in the Florida Panhandle town of Mariana. It was called a Humpty Dumpty, and that's the two. They didn't make a whole lot of them. It's just a lot of work for what you sold them for. It was made. It was Dennis Croft and John Bearfield. Well, what was cool on this right here, I'm gonna hold it up, on this box right here, we had I put on a Fishing Lure Collectors Club meeting out here at the beach back in the 90s, I guess, and we had folks come in from all over. Mr. Bearfield heard about it, and we invited him, and he came down to it. And right here is his signature, where he signed. I said, do you mind autographing my box? So this is something very special to me, where he autographed J.D. Bearfield, and the lure and all goes together. And I was able to find a few of these. I've got a couple of them, and it's just something I'm very proud of. So when I was going through Blue Springs Road the other day, you can see it right here. Let's see, you can see it. But it made the right here, the patch. In 2014, it was the lure of the year, of the decade, actually, and they made a patch for it. So if any of you folks up there have any Blue Springs minnows, or any old family members got those old tackle boxes, always look through them and see if you've got one, because it's really a part of the heritage of Jackson County. And there were not many places that made fishing lures. There was one made here at Amy Lee Minnow, and that one made up there, and that's the only, the old fishing lures, that's the only ones that were made. So if you can find one, get a hold of it and hold on to it and just help pass down the heritage of the fishing tackle, okay? We'll take a break, we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a look at our fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers. We're looking at 6:27 to 8:27 this morning, and this afternoon 6:53 to 8:53. Now we're going to talk about the bears, and in particular this bear over here in Santa Rosa, over in South Walton. Bill Roxby's been keeping me updated on it, and this is a character now. So I'm gonna first of all, he sent me this. My son owns a 30A wildlife removal. This person told us she had raccoons in her garbage, and you can see from my cameras she's got a bigger problem, and it's definitely that time of year. So anyway, this is she thought it was a raccoon messing things up. Wait a minute now, not just this one, but how about the three bears? This is over here in South Walton. Now, okay, read this. Hey, hello, Winston. We just videoed this bear in my backyard. This bear's at least 400 pounds. Not afraid of people at all. In this neighborhood, we're going to have to contact Game and Fish to deal with this one. This video does not show how really big he is. The animal, you'll be hearing about it on news. So anyway, I said, wow, he's huge. And I asked him if he contacted, okay, here's some evidence of it, okay? This is some of the damage. And Jeff just noticed, look at that garbage can. It's strapped, that lid, see that red strap? The can is strapped down. Look at the strap on it. And still knocked it over, knocked everything over. That's a big bear to do that. Wait a minute. He went after Bill's cabbage. He said that fence is a 6-foot fence, and he tore down the palm tree. And they're eating stuff out of palm trees. That's all bear damage. I said, anyway, I asked him if let me see, look at the damage there. Let me see, I asked him if he had contacted FWC, and okay, he said he did contact them, and anyway, he contacted FWC, and they couldn't, they sent him a brochure. They want, okay, yes, right here. Okay, right here. Yes, we notified them. They're sending us a brochure on how to deal with it and telling us to lock down the garbage cans, but now they're eating my plants. We've never witnessed this much activity in 6 years. Anyway, no one goes outside after dark. And folks, that's not in the woods on our, my bears are at a feeder, and so we can understand being at the feeder. So anyway, he sent me some video. I'm gonna try to show some of this video, and it's, let's see. Okay, this one right here, wait a minute. Let's see. Let me get on this one, Jeff. Okay. Take my word for it, it's a big bear. Okay, well, here we go. The neighbor's going outside. Look, all of a sudden, look at that right around the corner. All right, let's run this again. Is that spooky? You're going outside to check on things. You walk down the steps. Oh my goodness. It's a bear. This is not down in the Everglades, folks. This is right here in South Walton County. Let's watch it one more time. That's just walking down there. Here comes a bear. Okay, and anyway, that's and he had another video. Let me see. Okay, we got that one. I don't know if this one here will show or not. This was pretty dark here, but we may show. This is okay. You can see. You may not can see it. It's a silhouette way back, but it's not that far. Look how close the people are to the porch. But can y'all see the silhouette of it? I don't know if that's going to show up on the screen or not. But again, this is South Walton, the Big Bears, home of the Big Bears. But anyway, Bill Roxby, thank you for sending that to me. And I got a kick out of I want to make sure you read that brochure, because that brochure is important. And make sure you strap it. It looks like you already strapped it down. So anyway, the bears, let's see. I had some other pictures too. I wanted to show my buddy, okay, well I got another picture. My buddy Alan Shepard, who was all the catfishing, This is up here. He goes to church up there at Lake Talquin Baptist Church on the Bluntstown Highway. They went to church the other night. This is last Wednesday night. And what does he see? A bear in the churchyard. Look up in the tree. The same bear climbs up in the tree. The bear wants to come to church. I don't know if they let him in or not. Look at that. Now that's up there at Lake Talquin on Highway 20. Look at him. Look at him. Like I say, these are pictures are not in. A lot of them we're showing you the pictures in the feeder, but this is right here when you're driving up to church on a Wednesday night for prayer meeting. Here's part of the welcoming committee. Okay, that's a bear situation right now from Liberty County, Gaston County, and South Walton County. They're all over, and then I've just got a series of pictures of the bears on my feeder up there in Gaston County. Gail's gonna put together like a little like a slideshow. They're doing some crazy things, but anyway, they're smart, they're adaptable, and they love to eat, and they're eating a lot of stuff this time of year. So be careful. Like the fellow walked out of the back porch, walked out of the back door the other night, and there was one right there. Now they're not going to aggressively get after you unless it's one with a cub, and the cub is on the other side of the porch, and you walk between them. That could be bad. So I put all this airtime on the bears because I just want you to be aware of what may or may not could happen. All right, we're going to wrap it up for today. Got a big show coming up. We're going to do our drawings tomorrow as we get ready for Thanksgiving. Y'all have a great day today. Enjoy the great outdoors. Do something good for your fellow man, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.